Hey friends, and welcome to another makeup and a movie where I do the makeup
and I talking about a movie.
Today's video is actually special for many reasons. The first one being that we are doing this as part of a Valentine's collab with a bunch of people in our Geeks and Beauty group, and I will link all their videos down below so that you can see, and also blog posts. There are some people doing blog posts as well. So I will link all those below so you can check them out and see kind of what we're doing. We wanted to get this up before Valentine's Day. That's why it's coming out in January and not in February. But for us, you know, we are doing a makeup look. So without further ado, my name is Lainey and this is my side geek, Chris.
Hey.
Down at the bottom here you're going to see our Instagram and as well as my Snapchat, which I have started posting a lot more recently, regularly. Yeah. Today's makeup and a movie topic is
Sense and Sensibility,
which we are doing not just because it is a romantic movie and kind of Valentine's Day, but also because Alan Rickman recently passed away. So we thought that it would be a really good tribute to him and his work in his movie to do this one as our topic. And for this, my look today, I'm using the Lorac Pro Palette. And I am also reviewing this Maybelline Vivid Matte Lipstick Cream thing. Yeah. In my look. So if you are interested in hearing more about this movie and seeing this look that I am doing, just keep watching. Today I'm going to be using a lot of new products that I've picked up over the past couple weeks. If you're interested in knowing a little bit more about where I got these products, you can look below. I am now doing like haul videos on YouNow, which will post directly into YouTube, and it's not as formal as we are here. It is very casual and the lighting is not as good, but I'm still working on that part of it. But yeah, you can look at my other videos. I'll put a YouNow chat playlist like up here or whatever. So one thing I did want to mention that I've already used that I got that's brand new is this e.l.f. Illuminating Palette, and it is gorgeous, let me tell you. I used this white color right here in my look today, and again, what I like about this so much is that you can get a different kind of palette, like a blush palette, you can get the illuminating palette, you can get a foundation palette and a contour palette, and you can just pop all these little squares out and then take one of your favorite of each and make one palette. It's amazing. So you can get that on e.l.f. I believe it's like $6 or $8, but it's really economical. So I use that just like on my highlighting. It gives it a very, very nice glow. So basically for this video today, we of course are doing Sense and Sensibility, which is like one of my favorite movies of all time. Definitely my favorite Jane Austen. You know, Pride and Prejudice and Emma also being up there, but we decided to do kind of like a more natural look for that. So I'm going, oh, and by the way, everything else I used on my face is going to be down below in the description bar if you're interested. But I am going to be using the Lorac Pro Palette for this, and let's see, I can't believe I've never used this in a look before. It's kind of funny, but I haven't. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a lot of like pinks and rose color because it's kind of, you know, for a romantic, you know, movie, I guess that would be the best thing. So what I'm going to do, use this mauve color right here all over my lid, and then I think maybe in the crease we'll use this color. It's Pewter. Yeah, let's use that one right there. And then maybe also in the crease I'm going to put in a little bit of this garnet color as well. Yeah, so that's what we'll start off with while we talk about Sense and Sensibility.
Sense and Sensibility. So for those of you that never went through like high school literature, it is a Jane Austen novel, well, movie based on a Jane Austen novel, and there was a point where we were kind of doing like a Jane Austen book club at work with a bunch of us. We would read the book and then we'd all gather together and watch a movie based on it and talk about it and such. And it was pretty fun. I think this was the first one we did when we did that.
I think so.
And the only thing Jane Austen and I had read before, or even really knew about before, was Pride and Prejudice. And that one's probably like the most well-known one, I think, besides Sense and Sensibility. Probably because that one's a little bit more accessible to anybody that like reads it or sees the movie. But this one, really great film. It's from 1995, directed by Ang Lee, who many people know from the original Hulk movie.
And Crouching Tiger,
and
right?
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
So if you see this movie and then you see those, you can see his style in there. He is like amazing as a director. He's just gorgeous.
Although
like, no
a lot of people
does,
were like, it's so random that he's doing.
He kind of is.
You know, Sensibility and Crouching Tiger. But when you really think about it, you think of Jane Austen being like this really sprawling, like, moors in England and stuff.
Yes.
So it kind of makes sense,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah, he gets that. But he also knows how to get that emotion out of people and really bring that out the best in his actors. I mean, Brokeback Mountain as well. I mean, these big sprawling scenes as well as, you know, the intimate scenes as well. And then written by Emma Thompson, who stars in it as well. She won Best Screenplay and I believe Best Actress for it as well, too.
Deserving. Yep.
No, Best Screenplay for it, sorry. But she was nominated for Best Actress for it. Yeah, very deserving. I mean, you can definitely see her passion for Jane Austen in this film. So 1995 also stars Kate Winslet, who is playing her sister in it. They're the two main sisters that the story follows. And kind of about them trying to move on with their lives. They're becoming adults and they...
After their father dies.
Yeah.
Which, if you know anything about the Jane Austen period, you know that it's very hard to be a woman when your male parent dies, because what is handed down does not get handed down to daughters. It gets handed down to sons. So all of a sudden you have to kind of figure out how you're going to live with almost no money, unless either you get married off, or, you know, a cousin or something like that takes care of you.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, these books, her stories do deal with class as well, and it's always interesting to kind of see, you know, a lot of these things are very timeless, I guess, the whole, like, you know, classes and things like that, and people having to deal with that. So they're the main two sisters, and then you've got Hugh Grant and Alan Rickman coming in as suitors for these women, as well as a couple other people that kind of come along comedically into their lives. And which was surprising for me, how funny this actually was, both when I was reading it and watching the movie. There's actually quite a bit of humor in it that's really funny. And again, it's something like, you know, you probably like, it's gonna be old-timey, they're gonna talk weird and fawn over each other, and it's British. I'm not gonna get it. But seriously, I think anyone can really sit there and be like, that was good, that was enjoyable, that was funny. Everything was really well. Hugh Grant comes into it and he's, I don't know, for me, I always feel like Hugh Grant is always kind of like this bumbly kind of guy. Like, just kind of stumbling around.
Or arrogant, you know? Like, it depends on what part he's playing. He's either really arrogant or really, like, bumbly. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't mind him like that in this movie, though. I thought he was actually really good and fit it really well. Yeah. It wasn't too, like, obnoxious.
Yeah, and those of you who like Mr. Darcy, he is a little bit like Mr. Darcy in that he is quiet. And he doesn't reveal a lot of himself, you know, throughout the story. He's just kind of, like, you never really know what's going on in his head because he's a keeper of secrets and confidences. And so you never, you know, you don't really understand, like, what is going on with him, you know, until the end, you know, quite rarely, I guess.
It works so well with the story because you're just like, come on, get together, and then you're like, what's going on? There's something up with this guy, and then, but...
when you find out.
Yes.
Okay, so now I'm done with kind of that part of it. I'm going to start highlighting, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this light pink right here on my lid, and then this part, the champagne one, right on top of that to add a little bit more shimmer, and then I'm going to take this white and use it as a highlighting shade on my brows and then right here in the side. And I did use some of this garnet color underneath my eyes down here just a little bit to kind of add a little bit more depth on there.
The two sisters, Emma Thompson and
Kate Winslet.
Yeah, so they're the two sisters. Emma Thompson plays the kind of level-headed sister who is grounded in reality, where Kate Winslet perfectly plays the sister that's the romantic and like, my prince is gonna come along and sweep me off my feet and, you know, shower me with roses, kind of. She's like that type of girl, and she does that so well in this. And of course, this guy comes along, Willoughby, who attempts to do that, and that's how she basically is kind of rescued in a way by him at first.
Yeah, she is.
So it's that perfect little meet cute.
Ooh, I like that
they
word.
start up. That's the technical term for that.
For meet cute.
To meet cute. They kind of, you know, get together and everyone's like, oh, they're so perfect and cute together. And you're like, oh, this is nice. It's working out well for her. And things don't go according to plan, and she becomes a wreck. And
rightly so.
So, I mean, it's sad for her, but it's really hilarious in a way too. The way she just gets so dramatic about it.
Prone to hysterics.
Yeah, and then of course her big sister though is there for her and, you know, attempts to get her through it. And there's this other guy that comes along, Alan Rickman's
Colonel,
that's it. Colonel Brandon. Alan Rickman as Colonel Brandon comes along, and people are like, he takes a liking to the younger sister. So people are like, you know, you should kind of hook up with this guy. I mean, well, not hook up, that kind of sounds bad, but you should get together with this guy. He's, you know, good. He's going to take care of you. And she's just like, he's old, and he's a colonel, and no.
I want to have fun. I'm young, and there's this guy, and he's cute, and...
Yeah.
She's
like, no.
See, this is totally now.
Yeah.
Okay, so next I'm going to try out another new product that I have. This is the e.l.f. Extra Thick Ink Eyeliner, which I usually use Jessie's Girl, but I'm going to try this one out and see. It's very much like a marker. It's like super big. And then I'm going to use this Gelpresso liner. I usually use this in my waterline, so I'm going to use that. And then for my mascara, I'm using the Maybelline Lash Sensational Luscious. This is a new mascara. There is the pink one, which is Lash Sensational, and this is the new one in the black, which, you know, also, I like the packaging. It's very feminine and, you know, reminds me of it being romantic. So we're going to try this one out today also.
Speaking of romantic, so yeah, Colonel Brandon comes along, and I have always loved Alan Rickman. He's so great, and he is just perfect for this role because Colonel Brandon isn't that flashy, come sweep you off your feet kind of guy. He's kind of, I wouldn't say bumbling himself, but he's not great with words, and, you know, but he has these quiet moments with the younger sister. Why can't I think of her name? It's not Marianne. Eleanor? No, Eleanor's older sister.
Her name is Marianne.
Marianne, yeah. So Marianne, the younger sister.
And then Margaret is the youngest. Margaret is the small one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, Colonel Brandon and Marianne, Kate Winslet's character, you know, they have these like really nice quiet moments together of, you know, him trying to take care of her as she's, you know, dealing with Willoughby and that situation.
And the way that he looks at her sometimes, like when she's playing, there's some parts where she plays the pianoforte, and he just comes in and looks at her, and the way he does it, you're just like, so much depth, like right there, yeah.
And I love this scene where they're sitting outside, and he's reading to her. I think that's where it kind of like clicks with her, like, this guy, he's not sweeping me off my feet, but I can tell just the way he's reading to me and he's being with me right now, that this is someone that's going to be there in the long run, unlike Willoughby. And the way that whole scene just clicked, I thought it was just like so well done. Again, it's timeless. It translates so well to being that you can identify with it. It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, you're totally
making sense.
Yeah, you are making sense. Because, I mean, granted, yes, we're kind of giving a lot away with how the story goes. If you haven't seen it yet, you know, but it's a happy ending fairy tale, really. I mean, is it what everybody thinks they want at the beginning? No. But do they end up inevitably with the person they should be with? Yes. You know, but that's what happens in Jane Austen stories. So, and I think if you've ever seen... there's a movie with Anne Hathaway where I think it's Becoming Jane, where she, you know, her story is actually rather tragic because she never does really find the love of her life. And she has only written 5 books, I think, over the course of her lifetime, but look at how famous those books really are. And her first one was Sense and Sensibility. So, you know, you look at a story that's just amazingly wonderful, and then you look at her own story and it's kind of sad, you know? So maybe she can live vicariously through these stories that she's writing, you know?
I think that's why I connected to it so well, is that it's just so understandable and universal and not like, oh, it's so old-timey. Like, it's like you can read it or watch it and be like, I get that. I get what it's saying, and I totally feel it. Alright, so yeah, this movie, they have been trying, it's been made quite a few times before, and the producers and such came up in 1989 wanting to do another version of it as a theatrical release with some big people in it, particularly because it was kind of coming back in style at that time. Clueless was made, Emma was getting redone, and so they were like, this is the time to, you know, strike while the iron's hot.
Yeah.
So the producer, she got up with Thompson, was like, hey, I want you to work on this. And she was like, are you kidding? I love Sense and Sensibility. Let's do it. I want to write it. And she was like, okay, yeah, do it. Write it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And that's how the ball got rolling with that. And then they just, with Emma Thompson being involved with it, it just kind of rolled everybody else into place with this movie. Like, everyone's like, Emma Thompson, yeah, I want to do it.
All right, so I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the Aredell Natural 110 Black lashes. They are a little whiter than I usually use, so I'm gonna try and see if I can stick them on without them going totally inside. If not, I'm gonna cut them down. But we'll be right back after I put those on. Okay, so I have put on these lashes. I do like them, but they're very natural. They're not that long. I thought they were gonna be too long, but they're not bad at all. Okay, so lips. While I'm doing this, my lips, I am doing Maybelline Vivid Matte Liquid. This is a new liquid lip color. This one's in the shade Nude Flush. It's number 10. I do have to say that while I love the color, the staying power is good. It lasted a couple hours. I've been wearing it periodically throughout the week. You do have to apply, you know, after lunch. If you've eaten, after you've worn it for like a couple hours, you have to reapply. What I do not like is there is a perfume flower smell in this, where I know they were trying to be like, it smells good, you know, it's under your nose, but I have an allergy, so it's very hard for me to wear this for long periods of time without sneezing, which is really sad. So if you can deal with that kind of smell, this is probably an okay product for you, but I just can't. So I got 2 of them, and I'm only keeping this one that I'm gonna wear periodically, and the other one I'm giving away. But yeah, so I'm using this one for the look today.
Cool. I would say it has like a normal name. It's not like Absolution.
Yeah, Absolution, that's a good one.
So yeah, some trivia about this movie. Something fun is Emma Thompson, while she was working on the script, the computer that she was writing the script on had an issue. She couldn't access the files in the computer to pull the script back up to keep working on it, which that's pretty dangerous in this type of situation, you know, trying to write a whole movie. So she actually went to Stephen Fry. If you know him, he's pretty well known in British comedies and movies, and he's like super smart. But anyways, Google him if you don't know who he is, Stephen Fry. And, but yeah, she went to him. He ended up fixing it after 7 hours, and they ended up getting the script back, which is funny. So hanged in the balance of Stephen Fry. He kind of saved this movie. This crazy, smart British guy.
Yeah.
So Emma Thompson, Gemma Jones, Robert Hardy, Elizabeth Spriggs, Alan Rickman, and Imelda Staunton, who were all in this movie, were all in the Harry Potter movies as well.
Yes, they were.
Harry Potter. It's just like the best of every British actor possible, I think.
Gemma Jones being the one who played, I believe, the one who was in the infirmary in Harry Potter. She was the nurse.
The nurse, yes.
Imelda Staunton, she's the one who played Umbridge. Who else did you have?
Elizabeth Spriggs.
I do not know who she played, but if I saw her, I'd probably be like, yeah, I know who that is.
Robert Hardy.
Also don't know who that is.
the names are here. Emma Thompson, she was the
divinity teacher.
Yes.
Trelawney. And non-Harry Potter person in this movie is Hugh Laurie, which is kind of, he's very subdued. I mean, if you watch anything to Hugh Laurie in it, you're like, he's kind of brash in a way, but in this movie, he's very like, Even Keel and his wife, who is the one who plays Umbridge, Imelda Stanton, she is so overbearing, and you're like, how do these people stay married? I don't even know. But he's very like, yeah, okay, you know, I'm in this life. This is the one I chose. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Go on with it. So yeah.
Exactly.
So if you guys like Hugh Laurie, you should check him out, and this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Any more fun facts?
So in the movie, the Dashwoods, which is the main family of the two sisters, because of the death of their father, they end up having to move into a little cottage, and that's where the film pretty much takes place for the most part.
Yeah.
The movie took place during some cold months and stuff, but it was actually filmed in late May, the dog days of, almost the dog days of summer, and in one take, a sheep keeled over from heat exhaustion, and a lot of other sheep had to be sheared and later appeared with haircuts, despite the fact that it was winter at times. Oh, here's a funny one. So Emma Thompson, she was doing a scene with Colonel Brandon where they're on horseback, or he's on horseback and he approaches her, but they had to do that scene quite a few times because for some reason the horse had flatulence, very bad, and just like every few seconds they'd talk and this horse would fart.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, this is our Makeup in a Movie for Sense and Sensibility. If you are looking to see what else we've done, I will put the playlist down below or up above as well so that you can check out more Makeup in a Movies. We're planning our year, or at least we're trying to, so that we will have a lot more current movies and TV shows that are coming out, as well as old classic favorites and whatnot.
Yes.
So yes, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, keep calm.
Stay zany.
Bye-bye.